What's up, Full Face Andy here in the shop. My buddy John wants a pretty simple center frame with 2 bays, bow and stern, on his little Rocky Mountain Rafts Phat Cat, and we're gonna do that for him. What we got is some simple material, a couple pieces of 1-inch EMT. What I'm also gonna play around with a little bit this time is this 1 5/8 outside diameter fence post. I'm gonna use this because it fits, you know, 1 5/8 inch is the size that the NRS components use. I am trying to build a frame out of steel that has 4 towers that can move. Now here's the trick. Taking a NRS tower, clamping it on, and tightening it down will crush this. Right above my thumb, that is where I've tightened down an oar tower as much as I could, okay? And it put a little bit of a kink in there. This was with nothing supporting inside or anything like that. What I have then done is decided that if I take 1 1/2 inch dowel, it slips in to a 1 5/8 inch outside diameter line post, very snug. And I've tested this one about a 1/2 inch from the end, is where it was tightened down as much as possible, and it might have, you know, given it a little dent, but it did not continue to dent, making it virtually crush proof. What I like about this setup, I can take my oar tower, tighten it on in the spot that I want it, and it'll make a little divot and kind of, you know, it finds a spot and that's where it's going to sit. Similar to the other style of frames that are very popular with the speed rail. There was a company, I forget who, link down below. There's a cool video where they do a stress test and they take an oar tower, NRS variety, and they take an oar tower of the speed rail variety, and they try and get it to slip. And they found that the style like this can give way a little bit sooner than the other style that has the little pinch of the what's it called? Man, I can't remember. But the little tapped in Allen screw head thing. What they say is that when you tighten down those the speed rail style fittings, you're gonna divot out a little spot where that tap is going to bury in and kind of find its home, compared to the NRS where you're just the force is distributed around the U-bolt and it's not going to create any divot or anything. This is kind of somewhere in the middle, I believe, where I make a little bit of a divot. It might give it a chance to hold and also kind of make a home where it's going to settle and not allow it to slip as easily. No proof to the pudding, but I'm gonna try and test that theory eventually. Anyways, enough blabbering. Let's build a frame.
Yeah, y'all.
There's one section that's pretty much done. Do repeat for the rest of the raft, and it's gonna be like that, because like for here, and then I'm gonna take a larger diameter for my oar tower. Boom, that's all there is to it. And then I'll do a little bit more work to have the seating area, but generally, here it is. That's it, that's all. Cool. All right, I done finished it, and it looks great. This frame was not overly complicated to make. A couple bends, a couple welds. This is my first time playing around with a couple different size material. The way I accomplished it, I graduated from a 1-inch EMT to the larger fence post, and I did that right here. This was my test piece. What I wound up going with, taking the 1-inch EMT insert and then doing some cuts about 2-inch length, and then just kind of pinching those down, hammering them down a little bit. And then I re-welded the cut and welded around, and it came out really good. Half my reason of going with a steel frame compared to a aluminum frame is simply because it's the product that I can work with. It's cheaper and it's readily available locally for me, and I can weld steel. I don't have the equipment to weld aluminum. If I did, I might work with aluminum, but still, it's more expensive. So this is cheaper, and I've been happy with the results. I've been happy with the strength. I have this steel stern frame right here that I've used on my 130E, and I've also used on some 14-foot Aire D's. It's been great. This is literally 2 pieces of 10-foot EMT, and then I used, you know, a little bit extra for the or towers basically. But so for less than $30 in material, I've been able to create this. And yeah, it has no seat, but I have it designed in a way that it actually sits up on the back tube, and then your butt sits basically where you would guide from. Bye, buddy. Super simple and lightweight, and it is strong. You might be able to see how one is not like the other. This one got bent because I dropped my downstream oar with a fully loaded 6-person crew on a low water mank of the Sauk River.
Nicely done, everybody!
On this frame, and it bent the oar. It did not bend any part of this frame. When we're talking about aluminum versus steel, 2 stern frames serve the same purpose. I am confident in the strength of both. So it really comes down to this one being slightly adjustable with a seat, this one being simple, no seat, no frills, just works. For my real unscientific and inaccurate weight test, steel frame is lighter. The difference in thickness, overall diameter, is what gets you. This is maybe stronger. It's because it is bigger and thicker. If I wanted to have a piece of steel the same size and thickness of this, it would be a lot stronger, but also a lot heavier. So it's a balance. Weight to strength, ratio, size, a balance of all those things. Just like you can have aluminum framed bicycle and your steel framed bicycle. Both are going to be strong. Just the size and the tubing and the material is the difference here, but you know, that's just kind of how it goes. So for me, I like steel because I can work with it. I built my whole trailer out of steel tubing, same as this and all that kind of stuff. I'm just rambling on now. I'm going to give this to John today, and he's gonna load it up and paddle it hopefully soon. The rivers are rising, and so we'll get a good look at how it looks fully loaded and kitted out. I plan to build a new frame for this guy, my 130E. I'm gonna try and make that raft over there very versatile, so it can have kind of a day frame, whitewater setup, a multi-day setup with, you know, cooler and gear, and then also a fishing setup by just adding or subtracting different frame components rather than building one solid piece. Building a raft frame shouldn't be too hard. This hopefully just gives you a little glimpse into at least my process. It doesn't take a lot of specialized equipment. A manual bender for electricians works great for making bends. Grinder, welder, things like that will get you by. You don't need any special kind of welder. In fact, when you're working with EMT, stick welding actually works really well, or even flux core, because it'll not have as much influence from the galvanized material. You should still grind it off first. Wear a mask when you're welding galvanized material. I just got some galvanized paint, painted over the welds, should last. But either way, if you're interested in getting a frame built, I can do that. But I also think you can do that. If you don't have equipment, then just talk to me. You know, we can build a frame together. It could be fun. It could be a great time. Uh-oh. Baby's waking up. That's my signal. Gotta go inside. So that's all I got for you today. Take it easy.